Hey, have you ever worked as a pizza delivery driver or a rideshare driver? To earn that meager pittance, have you ever felt like a dog enduring senseless humiliation from customers? They accuse you of taking the long way to scam them. They curse at you because you're late and they're starving. You exhaust yourself only to end up with zero pay and a mouthful of insults, sometimes even paying out of pocket for a complaint. You feel like the unluckiest person on earth, believing anyone with a few bucks can trample your dignity. Don't be so quick to complain. On this planet, there are lives far more tragic than yours. If you don't believe me, let your unlucky angel take you back to one of your past lives. There, humiliation isn't a transactional hiccup. It's the air you breathe, a curse etched into your bones from birth. Your past life was named Karan, born a Dalit in India, the so-called Untouchables. Under this system, your only purpose from birth was either handling corpses or scooping human waste. From childhood, you followed your father and grandfather to learn the family trade, manual scavenging of public latrines and sewers, carrying the waste to farmers for fertilizer. The danger of this job is beyond imagination. It's not just about holding your breath. The stench of methane mixed with rotting waste kills many from gas poisoning. The black sludge flowed over you, seeping into your fingernails and pores as if it were entering your very bloodstream. No matter how many basins of water you used, that cursed scent never washed away. Gradually, just like your father and grandfather, you learned to eat rice with your bare hands immediately after work, without washing. Compared to starvation, even the scent of waste smelled sweet. Your father watched you covered in sludge, his eyes filled not with pity, but with profound terror. He knew that if he didn't fight, this would be the only future for you, your son, and your grandson. Your father knelt before the village chief's door for 2 days and nights, begging for you to go to school. The chief agreed, but the teacher didn't. You weren't allowed in the classroom or to sit on chairs like the high caste students. You could only sit on a scrap of burlap on the muddy porch to listen. You thought if you worked hard enough, you could make your father proud. On a major math exam, you scored the only 100 in the class. But when the teacher called your name, it wasn't for applause, it was for a stinging slap to the face. The teacher screamed, "How could a Dalit get a perfect score? You must have cheated off Salmon," even though Salmon only scored a 60. After class, the high caste students used you as a human punching bag. They beat you with sticks like you were a ball until your legs snapped, leaving you unable to squat properly for the rest of your life. The police, they wouldn't even take a statement. In their eyes, your neighbor's sister being gang raped to death by temple priests was just an accident. The priest compensated the family with a few crackers and told the police she tripped and hit her head. Your broken leg meant nothing to them. Instead of sympathy, the teacher summoned your father, telling him never to send you back, that you'd learn nothing there except how to take a beating. You had a childhood sweetheart, a fellow Dalit. She was beautiful. It was her only asset and her curse. You did everything to protect her, dreaming of saving enough to marry her. But she chose to be a plaything for high caste men, to be gang raped in the ruins, rather than be your wife. She told you coldly, "Karan, wake up. If I marry you, my children will be scavengers for eternity. If I let them play with me, at least my family eats today." When you grabbed a rusted axe to fight them, she pushed you away and spat in your face. Your suicide mission will only bring trouble to your family. You are less than a dog to them. Don't drag me down. That despair, where even your own kind loathe and look down on each other, is the true bottomless hell. As an adult, you were still stuck in that cesspool. Late one night, a drunken high caste man saw you at a public toilet and ordered you to the roadside to kneel. In front of his friends, he exposed himself and urinated directly on your head, demanding you kowtow and thank him while soaked in his waste. His friends recorded it, laughing, and posted it online, unintentionally sparking public outrage.
To appease the masses, the government sent bulldozers to demolish the man's illegal home. You thought justice had arrived? No. Your father and grandfather took the whole family to beg the police not to demolish it. They knew that for every blow of the bulldozer, the high caste family's revenge on you would increase tenfold. Every relative blamed you. Why did you make a scene? Why couldn't you just let him finish? Even though you didn't post the video or seek out the police, you became the villain who destroyed the whole village's fragile sense of safety. This is a 3,000-year shackle, a curse you and your descendants can never escape. India got independence, but your soul remained nailed to that dung pit. You completely collapsed. You met the drunkard and jumped into the dark sea before his eyes, thinking your life would pay the debt. But the moment you leapt, regret hit you. If you died, what if they still targeted your family? But fate wouldn't grant you death. You washed up in Nepal, where you faked amnesia to erase your Dalit identity and survived by begging on the streets. You met an outsider, an Australian NGO member, who saw you begging while reviewing an old math book. He brought you to his Australian farm as a servant to help with inventory. There, you raised, slaughtered, and tallied cattle. At night, you studied feverishly on a scavenged phone. Though you were often covered in blood and stench, it was paradise compared to the latrines. For 10 years, you completed foundation and TFAP transition courses until you finally got accepted into a university. You knelt before your master with the acceptance letter, and to your shock, he handed you a check as a blessing. On the first day of class, you thought you were finally clean, but the professor was an Indian whose voice carried the weight of high caste authority. You barely began your introduction when, without even looking at you, he heard the lowly, earthy accent in your very first word. From the pronunciation etched into your bones, he instantly identified you. He said coldly in front of the whole class, "This is no place for someone of your background. Get out." At that moment, you realized that no matter how many thousands of miles you ran or how much knowledge you gained, the brand of Dalit was a curse nailed to your soul forever. You returned to the farm and returned the check. You surrendered. You realized you weren't university material. You were just a cursed soul. You found peace. The farm was your home. The cattle didn't care if you were an untouchable. You chose never to have children, refusing to pass on this cursed lineage. You worked on the farm until old age. Before dying, you left all your savings to your master's son. Your only request, bury me like a dead Australian dog. No tombstone, and definitely no return to India. You felt that having no name and no past was the best ending. Maybe in the next life you wouldn't be a Dalit. Even being reincarnated as an animal was better than that. If you were God, what kind of next life would you give Karan? If he were reincarnated as a delivery driver in New York, where humiliation at least comes with a paycheck, would that be a supreme reward for him? If you were God, what kind of life would you grant him? Would you let him be born into a high caste family to experience life at the top? Or send him back to the Dalits to see if this generation can finally break the chains? Leave your thoughts in the comments. We are your unlucky angels of past lives, sharing these stories so you can cherish your life today. If you like our show, please like, share, and subscribe. Angels need support too. Don't give up. We're in this together. See you next time.
Hey, still here? Enjoying the despair of your past life, aren't you? Did that past life make you shout WTF inside? If yes, welcome back. You've regained your memory. Trust me, you are so much happier now. Since you survived, support this down and out angel. Like and subscribe to keep the updates flowing. It won't send you to heaven, but it lets me stay here with you in hell. See ya.